So tell us a little bit about your story with camels and how you've been growing up with them and, what got you into camels in the first place.
Absolutely. My story with camel is very, very, very long story. I belong to nomadic tribe called Tuareg. Tuareg are the last indigenous people who live in Sahara Desert. The only way of transportation they have are camels. Camel only. There's no cars, there's no trucks, there's nothing, just camels. And we see camel as our self. They're like us as a family member.
That's still the case today, is it?
What's that?
That's still the case today, is it?
Absolutely. That kind of life, that way of life is still there. It's called nomadic life. Right now, my family, my tribe are somewhere in Sahara Desert with their camels. They ride them, they milk them, they live with them and they live in them, you know. So we see camel as part of our family. We see them as brother and sister. We don't see them as animals. So that's been going that for many, many, many generations. Camel for us is very sacred animal. We love them very much as we love our sister and brothers.
Yes, right, yeah.
So what's a daily happening of a nomadic tribe? Like, what was your daily routine that you have with the camels? And like you mentioned, you milk them for milk, obviously. And what sort of things did you do on a daily basis with the camels?
Yeah, daily basis routine of nomadic life is basically during the day, you graze your camels. You take them on to find good pasture, where is good grass and good thing to eat for them. You are with them every day, you know, talking to them, singing music. At night, you bring them home. They stay at the nomadic camp, and you milk the one who have milk. And during the day, you let them go on the desert again, and you follow them. Sometimes you don't have to. They know how to come back home. They know that that's their house, so they come back home at every night, especially the one who have kids. And for once a while, you meet them at the well. They know where the well is for water. They'll be there waiting for you, so to give them water. When they drink their water, they will go on the desert, look for food. They eat brushes, they eat everything that they can find. And that's basically the daily life of a nomad.
So everyone inside the family, like all the women, all the children, the grandparents, everyone's involved with the life of the camel?
But everybody is involved with the camels. But kids, most of them are involved with the baby camels.
Right.
The small ones, because they are like them, you know, they are smaller. So they take care of the small camels. But the big camels, men and women, doesn't matter what sex you are, everybody's involved. Everybody's involved with them.
Right.
And every year we have what we call the salt caravan, like about 600 or 700 sometimes camels that live together. They go to an oasis in the middle of Sahara Desert called Bilma to bring salt.
Oh, right.
It's 45-day journey. You know, so you have to transport the food for the camel, their water, and the wood so you can make fire at night. You start in the morning and you don't stop because it's hard to load up 500 or 600 camels. Just sometimes it's 10 guys or 5 people.
Wow.
Caravan.
I have seen a documentary on that. It was fascinating.
It is. It's the most fascinating, what do you call it, thing, caravan. It's called salt caravan.
Yes.
It's very, very fascinating. To become a real nomad, you have to be initiated to do that kind of caravan. It's 45-day round trip across the Sahara Desert. So when they bring salt, they trade it against sugar, tea, clothing, whatever you need for your family.
Yeah.
Have you done that personally yourself?
every Tuareg have to do it to become a man. I mean, it's initiation to become
wow.
a full grown man. You have to do it. I have done it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fascinating. Yeah.
It is very, very. I mean, it's something that it's amazing. You have to see it to believe it or to feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the big slabs of salt, aren't they?
Big. It's they look like very, very big. I mean, it's for one man. You have to have two men to carry one of them. To lift up one of them.
Right.
It's organic salt. It's made on the oasis of Bilma.
Yeah.
Basically, there's nothing, just water evaporated, and you have the black of salt.
Yeah.
Very healthy, very organic, and people love it in Africa. So it's very famous salt.
So the whole caravan would be unloaded of a night time and then reloaded in the morning again?
Mm-hmm. Yep. At the night time, excuse me, the whole caravan stopped and unload all the camels. Put the load down, and people who are on the caravan get together, make their fire. If you want to eat, you have to eat on the top of the camel.
Yeah.
If you want to go, get some whatever you want to do it and run, catch the caravan. So there's no stop. It's like a train.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When it stops, you create a problem because camel can get crazy or jump and everything will fall off.
Yes.
So that's why it's better to continue always, not stopping.
Wow, how fascinating. So how many years in total have you spent with camels? Ever since your birth?
I was born with the camel my whole life. I was born my whole life with camels, so there's no timing. They're like part of my blood. They are who I am, and so do my generation. Every Tuareg are about camels. That's their life. That's who they are. We love them. I wish we can come to Australia and get all the camels that they're killing.
We would love you to.
Yeah, it's a really important point, that's for sure. So I've noticed now that you are also helping people in the Western world train their camels for domestic use. And can you tell us a bit more about what you do there?
Basically, I have very good friends in Texas. Who own camels. They love camels and they use them for, to live, for life. And every year we have what we call a camel clinic in Texas. So they invite me to come and speak and help to teach camel owner in the United States how to handle them, how to train them, how to be with them. So we do that every year in the United States. And US there's a lot of camel actually right now, but less than you guys have.
Yes, absolutely. And that's held every October, is that correct?
Say that again?
The Camel Clinic in Texas, is that every October?
Every October in Texas, San Antonio.
Yeah.
You guys should come next year.
Yeah, we're thinking about it for sure. Who runs that? Who operates the clinic?
It's on camels. They come, bring their camel, and we help them to train them, and we help them to get to know them.
Yeah.
It's about 3 or 4 days session.
Yeah. So the people bring their own camel to those clinics. You've come from where you live, and do other people from around the world also come with their expertise and skills and different techniques to train people with camels?
Yes, we not really. I'm the only one who's who's international from Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
Rest of them, the 3 of them are American, but they know how to handle camel. They have them for many, many years.
Yeah.
They've been to Egypt, they've been to Africa to learn about them, and they're expert on camels.
Yeah.
And we have someone this year a lady who come from Europe.
Nadine?
Nadine,
Yes.
you know her. She came from Europe specially for that clinic to learn about camels.
Right, great, yeah.
So it's getting international.
Yes, yeah.
That
No,
sounds
that's
wonderful.
awesome, yeah, yeah.
So when you're not in the Sahara Desert, what are you doing with your time?
When what?
When you're not in the Sahara Desert, out with your family and stuff like that, what do you do with your time? And so currently you're now in Mexico, is that right?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you just
I mean,
help people randomly with their camels, or?
I'm right now. I'm in Cabo San Lucas. The purpose I come here is I used to be in charge of a camel safari tour here.
Yep.
Company called Cabo Adventure, who have 8 camels. So I was in charge of their training, and they set up the whole program to get it running.
Yep.
I'm not doing that anymore, but the camel are in good hand. They are very well trained. I teach my friend here in Mexico how to handle them, how to love them, how to do everything with them.
Wonderful.
It's running very well. Yeah, and I'm in transition right now.
Yeah.
I will be moving back to United States, maybe to Sahara Desert very soon. I don't know yet exactly, but I know that for sure I will be leaving here very soon.
Right, yeah. Oh, good luck. Now, a question that I've got about the Australian scene, of what people overseas might or might not know about the camel culling that's been going on in Australia. The government basically has had a 4-year program to cull the feral camels in Australia. Because there's no natural predator, and the numbers have been doubling every 8 to 10 years. It does pose a problem for the environment, and something definitely does need to be done. But what they've been doing is aerial culling using helicopters and sharpshooters, and for the 4 years they've told the public now in a report that's just been released that they've culled 160,000 camels throughout outback Australia. What are your thoughts on that? And would you like to see the Australian government consider other options?
Yeah, I think it's too bad to kill. Every life deserves to live. You know, to me, I see it as, to be honest, I see it as a crime. You cannot kill anything. Every life deserves to live. Camel are the first transportation that we have as a human being before Australian government exists.
Fair enough.
Camel, that's only camel that you can ride anywhere.
Yep.
And they will be the last option that as a human we have. So I don't see, you have to be very, you know, I don't see why you kill them, because that's the only option you're going to have on the future. There's not going to be cars and airplanes on the futures. The only thing you have to use are camels and horses and donkeys.
Can you give us a few...
And my suggestion is tell Australian government to let us come to Australia and take this camel, all of them. We can take them back to Sahara Desert. We love them. I have a lot of land, and people live with them. They provide family with food and transportations. A lot of Tuareg are in need of camel in Sahara Desert. There are Tuareg are in many countries in North and West Africa. If you give a Tuareg one camel, it's like you give him his whole life. So my suggestion is, if Australian government can find a way to let us come to Australia and take this camel and take them back to Sahara Desert, that would be great, instead of killing them. Killing is not an option.
So in regards to a camel sort of industry, what ways have you seen camels being used, and would you like to see camels being more used in certain areas of anybody's life, really?
Yeah, I don't know. As I said again, for us, camel, that's the only way of life we have.
Yeah.
We use them to go from A to B.
Yeah.
They feed us with their milk. I grew up with camel milk, you know, and we use their fur to make clothing and blanket and ropes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't have camel in Sahara Desert, we don't have life.
Mm-hmm.
Your life depends on camel,
Mm-hmm.
and camel depend on vice versa.
Mm.
So it's not like an industry; it's a way of life
Mm-hmm.
that many years and many generations live that kind of life until these days.
Mm. Mm.
So if a Tuareg heard that someone is killing camel somewhere, that's very. It's like you're killing yourself,
Yeah.
basically.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
like killing your family, you're killing your brother and sister.
Yes.
So again, what I love from Australian government is to let us come as a Tuareg and get all the camels from Australia that they don't need. We need them. We live with them, and it's our life. We can get them and take them back home.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, one of the problems that we've got in Australia is its size and the population out there in the arid zone. And you're looking at an area that's 3.3 million square kilometres. And it's very rugged, harsh environment, very sparsely populated. And so road transportation's one of the issues that's quite a problem. But what we've been looking at for a number of years is the Aboriginal people who still live in the desert in communities to be trained in camel handling and mustering techniques, and then with improved roads and transportation to be able to transport the camels. So basically setting up a systematic approach to continuously removing the animals, because it's not going to happen. You're never going to remove them all. The country's too big. But to systematically remove them and reduce the population numbers down to a manageable level. And I feel personally that this is the way that we should be going. But it's basically, easier, I suppose, on the dollar initially to go for the helicopter and the sharpshooters.
Mm.
Of course. No, I agree. I completely agree. But I don't see how camel can damage the environment. What they're doing bad to the nature. They're not killing anybody. They're not predators. I mean, they're not lion or tiger. They are just camel.
Well, I think in this instance, it's got to do with the water availability. Is that right?
Yeah, water holes are getting damaged, and
because there's obviously limited water out there, and the cattle and the sheep. Is that right? That sort of
not so much sheep, but certainly cattle
that roam out there. They are looking for the water, and it's just this kind of whole battle between almost two different species. Would you say? The water holes, of course, are important to the Aboriginal people, especially in folklore and Dreamtime stories, and also as a source of water in the desert region. So the protection of the water holes is very important, of course. The camels were introduced to Australia back in the 1860s, 1880s, and that's how come now we've got the world's largest feral herd of camels. Because they've just had no predators at all. And out there in the Australian desert, it's heaven to them. It's purely heaven.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Desert.
Management's actually the key, I believe, but a systematic approach to it.
Absolutely. But I think the right approach to that problem is Australian government can find a way to export this camel to Africa, to, like Niger, Mali, Libya, Sudan, Chad, Algeria, Mauritania, Morocco. All these countries have nomad people who use camel for life. They use them. If you give one camel, you're giving life to many families. it's a way, I mean, that's the best way. You're not killing and you're saving life somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's a really good point.
Yeah, the best approach to me is to find a way, as you guys Cameleers, to approach federal government of Australia to find a way to ship this camel to poor people in Africa.
Yeah.
You save life, you're giving life to people. To ship this camel to poor people in Africa.
Yeah.
You save life, you're giving life to people.
It would almost, from what you've said and the passion that you've got for what you've just said, it would almost be more beneficial than the programs that we've got with AustAid at the moment. I mean, AustAid, is supplying basically grains and foods, to regions through United Nations, the World Food Organization. But I can understand what you're saying is that it comes back to that old parable of give the man a fish, you feed him for a day, but give the man, the techniques, the techniques to fish, then he feeds himself for life. Or the same with a camel.
No, absolutely. But giving a camel to someone in Sahara Desert or anywhere in Africa is life. Like you have life for your entire life. Your family will have life. Your grandkid will have life because you use them to live. You milk them, and that milk makes you grow, and you ride them to go somewhere. So it's like giving life to people.
Yeah,
it's very, very. We should think about that as between us, and find a way to do that. That's the best solution instead of killing, I think.
Yeah.
Killing will not solve the problem. Giving away to needed people will solve the problem.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of them, many needed people who need life and who need to live.
That's amazing, and I really hope that our listeners also see, like for me, it's broadened my perspective on it. Like it's certainly given a good answer, I guess, to the feral camels that we have in Australia. I mean, you basically, you're not taking the camel's life, but you're actually giving it to give somebody else a life. And even they might be selling their own, like making their own fur, fur clothing or bedding or whatever. But then they also have that opportunity to sell that onto other traders, sort of thing, as an income sort of thing.
And another option, the same way, I mean, Australian government or you guys, if you can find a way to take this camel and give them to poor people in Africa, it doesn't have to be free. You cannot get something in exchange from this camel. You can sell them at least for $50 a camel, or $100 or $2,000. People will buy them because they love camels.
Wow.
Imagine if you're giving them for free. Be much better. But for the government to get something in return, just sell them. Put them on big airplane, bring them to Africa and sell them on the market. We have another market around in Sahara Desert. Every day camel market, people bring their camels, sell them and trade them.
Wow.
So if you put them on the market, at least for $1,000, people will buy them.
Wow.
Buy them. Imagine if you put them for sale for $50. Everybody will come buy all of them.
That's amazing. What a perspective.
Yeah. So let's think
nice.
about it. Let's find a way to make it happen instead of killing them. I think that's we can do something about it.
Yeah. I saw recently that it was there was an international. I'll get my words right here. An international camel organisation recently had a meeting somewhere over there in Africa.
Camel conference.
Camel conference, World Camel Conference it was. I'd never heard of the organisation before, and I'm going to investigate it further because obviously this it's an issue here in Australia. But as you say, it does have broader opportunities for assisting others around the world to be able to help.
They're all about sustainability.
Yeah, it's about sustainability.
Yeah, it's all about sustainability. That's right. No, camel are in Africa. They bring life to families and tribes.
And it really is that simple. And why wouldn't we want to gift that to another person?
I mean, like it's like Red Cross or whatever these NGO who donate 1 bag of rice or 2 kilos of sugar, and you'll finish with that in 1 week.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you give a family a camel, again.
Wow.
Or 2 camels, a female and male. That's it. You save their life forever.
That's amazing.
This camel will multiply.
It's really exciting.
You're going to have food for your family forever. And station.
It's so wonderful to hear your perspective on it, because we obviously, we're different over in Australia. We do have lots and lots of camels, and well, very few of us use them for anything really. It's only slowly catching up to, a few one milking dairy in Australia, and there's a few people making camel products out of like soaps and body lotions, and people like us doing safaris or camel rides and what have you. But there is certainly, we take advantage of it, or some people aren't even aware of what camels are capable of. So it's so nice to hear another perspective on how you guys live with the camels out in the Sahara Desert, and how they are your life. They're your how you live. If without a camel, it's really, you almost, would you say you're living in poverty without a camel? Is that correct?
It's poverty. Total poverty. If you don't have a camel or a cow or goat or something like that, you are like in poverty, because what you're going to do, there's no life for you. Especially camel. Camel is very, 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 very important. It gives you a lot of milk.
Yes.
You will take anywhere you want. And you use their fur to make blanket and to, ropes, whatever you want.
Wow.
And they have meat. But most of the nomad people, they don't eat camels because they see them as a family and tribes. But other people eat them. Their meat is excellent. I mean, even of Australian government, that's the worst scenario. They can sell the meat. Export the meat to Africa for cheap or for free. If you kill a camel, just pack up the meat and send it to Africa so people can have protein.
As part of Australia or something like that.
Yeah, that's the worst scenario. But the best scenario is to give them to poor families in Africa so they can have life.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're constantly saying for life, for life, for life. In Rajasthan, in India, the camel has traditionally been the symbol of love.
Absolutely.
And that's the same with you guys by the sound of it.
You see their cushion pad, the one, what do you call it in English? I don't know that. The one when it's like similar to heart. Yeah. If you look on it, it's like a heart. So that's symbol of love and life.
It's amazing.
Check it out next time. Look at the cushion part, the one on the here on the chest.
Yep.
It look like heart.
Yeah.
That's symbol of life.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it has been so wonderful to have you speak with us, and like I said, just putting this sort of information out to other people who aren't even aware of the nomadic tribes in the Sahara Desert. So it's such an eye-opener for us too. Like, we've been camel people and, you sort of have a feel of what's going on, but nothing like this. So it's been an eye-opener for us, and hopefully everybody else will be inspired to take some action. And no doubt, I think we'll be looking into some sort of ideas around how we can help the camel industry in Australia to help you guys in Africa. So, yeah.
It's my pleasure. Let's continue. Let's do it again.
Yes,
absolutely.
Would love to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One more important thing before we leave.
Yep.
At the beginning of humanity, there's no transportation at all. Just camels. Jesus Christ, Muhammad, and whatever all these religious leaders rode camels. That's the only animal, they have to go from A to B.
Mm-hmm.
There's no cars, there's no airplane, there's no trains. Only animal that can take you anywhere is camels.
Mm-hmm.
And the life, the humanity will end like that.
Mm.
Can be, cars and airplane in maybe. We can see that, I think, in our lifetime. I'm not, but camel deserve life,
Yes.
and they give life.
Yes.
Quite agree.
Yeah.
Thank
Quite
you.
agree.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.